Diablo was defeated. For a time it seemed we would know peace. But it was not to be. For Diablo's essence lingers in the Black Soul Stone. I cannot destroy the stone, nor allow its evil to remain within the heavens. And so it must be hidden, even from the angels. I pray that it will be enough. You have done well, Horadrim. Your service here is finished. And you should all run. Malthael. Brother. Why? The Nephilim will stop you.
No one can stop death.
The rumors are everywhere. Angels stalk the city of Westmarch, killing everyone, strong and weak, noble and commoner alike. I do not know what these angels want, and I do not care. These Reapers think that no one can stand against them. I will show them the error of their beliefs, and remind them that they should fear me.
Westmarch originally grew from the efforts of the great General Rakis to spread his religion beyond the realms of the East. Seized by the superstitions of the Zakarum faith, he drove his paladins relentlessly across the barbaric western lands, subduing the uncivilized tribes he found there. Ultimately, he became king of them all. Despite his superstitious views, Rakis ruled as a just and fair king, who was much loved by his people. He was succeeded by his son Corsic, who attempted to eradicate the barbarian tribes of the north. The line of Rakis was broken when Korsik's son Corellan died with no heirs. After Corellan's death, the crown passed to Justinian I, through a somewhat convoluted interpretation of Zakharum's scripture. Thus began the Justinian dynasty. Seen as usurpers by many, the Justinians suffered nearly constant challenges to their rule. Finally, during the reign of Justinian III, a full-fledged insurrection broke out in the outlying region of Catullus. The Catullus insurrection was led by a woman known only as Tira, who claimed to be descended from the sons of Rakis. This uprising was immediately seen as a war of the common man against the nobles and their Zakharum strictures. During the very height of the conflict, Tira seized control of Westmarch and proclaimed herself empress. Tira's newly established rule over Westmarch did nothing to quell the civil war, which continued until she was driven mad and eventually killed by the plague. Cornelius, grandson of Justinian III and slave to the Zakharum faith, used this opening to crush the rebels once and for all and become the new king. The Zakharum Church always held an unhealthy sway in Westmarch, even after the ascension of rulers more interested in power than religion. When the true nature of the faith was finally exposed, however, it completely eroded any influence the church had over civil affairs. And rightly so, I might add. Westmarch is currently ruled by Justinian IV. Originally thought to be a callow youth, Justinian came into his own in the years following his ascension to the throne. Rumors still abound about demonic activities surrounding his coronation, but I believe those are simply the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by the ever-prevalent myths of the Zakharum.
The Nephilim! Tyrael sent me to find you. Malthael has taken the Black Soul Stone. You must come with me.
I think not. People are dying down there. They need my help.
But you and Tyrael need to form a plan. We must find Malthael.
Tell Tyrael I will meet him in Westmarch. Go!
It will be done. I swear it.
By Akarat! Please, no! Not Westmarch!
Even with your doubts about the Order, you still seem very committed to battle.
I was a soldier in Westmarch before the Order took me. Fighting is in my blood. We're going to die! She's coming to kill us all!
No! The gates! This carnage must end. I have to find a way into the city.
I am so weary. Why did you have to die, brother? I was never meant to be king. The nobles threaten revolt to bend me to their will. They will abandon me if I don't keep the peasants in their place. Oh, my position is hopeless. I have come to realize that my personal feelings are of no consequence. My people are dying, and they need their king. Our resistance starts today, and Lord Winton, of all people, has provided the means. These reapers shall not have Westmarch. I swear my life on it. Lord Winton, we are thrilled that you have located a surviving regiment of soldiers. With this new force, we can turn the tide and save our city. Your disagreements with the Crown are well known, but we are glad you can put them aside in this dangerous time. Long live Westmarch!
It is done. The bloodline of Rakis will once again sit on the throne of Westmarch.
And I suppose that would be you, of course.
My grandmother was the daughter of Corellan, but he would not claim her because she was born of a courtesan, not a queen. With the peasants supporting me, Westmarch will become a place of freedom and equality. The idle rich will be no more. Of course, there will be some bloodshed. We must make a few examples, consolidate our power. A small price to pay.
I didn't know your king, but I know I don't care for traitors such as you. You will never rule Westmarch while I still live.
I have spent my whole life preparing for this day, wizard.
Let us have at it then, foul traitor. Done!
Stop! Don't go out into the streets. It's the end of the world. So many have been killed and the Reapers are everywhere.
Is anyone alive in there?
General Torian was defending a group of refugees at the old Zakharum Cathedral, but they're likely all dead by now.
Wait! You're the wizard who saved Bastion's Keep. You'll save us too, won't you?
Of course. It's what I do.
Malthael's influence taints man and beast alike. Even the dogs of Westmarch, once tame and gentle, have been transformed into wild, savage creatures. They hunt in packs through the streets, tearing apart their prey with ravenous hunger. I saw them rip a soldier limb from limb. When his screams stopped, they came for me.
Keep moving. I think we lost her. No, no!
Those with demon blood must die.
Demon blood? They were just innocent people.
After Malthael's disappearance, the Angiris Council appointed his most loyal servant, Urzael, to find him and bring him back to the high heavens. Urzael, accompanied by the sect of maidens who were Malthael's closest followers, set out to find their absent master. They never returned. The Revenant Shield Guards were once the personal guard of King Justinian IV. Appointed to the position for bravery and skill at arms, they accompanied the king at all times, resplendent in their ornate armor, wrought by the finest craftsmen in Westmarch. But most spectacular were their shields, which they unerringly employed in the protection of their king. I watched in horror as the guard was struck by the maiden's magic. I heard the sound of his screams until his flesh had dissolved to nothing, and only his armor-clad skeleton remained, his jaw unhinged. Blue mist swirled around his bones, coalescing into new flesh. When at last I cut him down, the phantasmal flesh exploded, leaving only a pile of armor behind. As Malthael has imbued them with the ability to sense the living, Revenant archers do not rely on their vision to find their targets. There is no place safe from their sightless gaze. They will find you through stone, wood, and even the ground itself. And once they have their quarry, they do not miss.
Defend the church! Repel these vile reapers!
A glorious challenge awaits over there!
Ah, we found you.
Tyrael, why is Malthael so intent on destroying this city?
Because he feeds on death. Every time his reapers kill, he grows stronger. And with the prime evil gone, Malthael believes this is the perfect time to end the eternal conflict.
Humanity has nothing to do with that war.
Though we are descended from angels as well as demons, Malthael is so short-sighted, he can only see our demonic heritage.
The church! All the refugees are inside! Follow me! Akarat's bane! This is worse than I feared!
What are these things?
A death maiden! Stop her!
Nephilim, your soul will be mine.
Just tell me where to find Malthael, and I'll put an end to this carnage.
I know only that he is not in Westmarch. He could have taken the Black Soul Stone anywhere in creation.
But why does he want the stone? Is there any way to find out?
There may be. A sliver broke off when Malthael took the Soul Stone. Perhaps by studying that sliver, I can learn his plans.
You'd best get started on figuring it out. If you need me, I'll be saving the city. What brings the Horadrim back now?
Tyrael rebuilt the Order to help him take the Soul Stone from heaven, and to protect mankind. After all, you can't be everywhere at once, no matter how powerful you are.
Well, perhaps someday I will solve that problem.
Malthael, my brother. He was wisdom, leader of our council, first among angels. And now, he has become this.
What could have changed him so?
After the destruction of the World Stone, Malthael's mood darkened, and he left the heavens frequently. Then he disappeared completely. He must have developed a connection, no, an obsession with human souls.
Frankly, I don't really care. Death is meant to free our souls, not devour them. How can studying the sliver of the Black Soul Stone reveal Malthael's plans to you?
The sliver is still connected to the Soul Stone. As the stone changes, the sliver will change too. Therefore I can observe what Malthael is doing to the stone, and if we're lucky, even discover his plan.
General Torian, that Death Maiden in the cathedral was using an arcane magic unfamiliar to me. Do you know what she was doing?
She was creating an orb that turns the living into Malthael's death creatures. A single orb can transform hundreds of innocent people every hour, and my men report 2 more of them out in the city.
Soul crucibles. With 2 of them, Malthael has an endless supply of soldiers.
Not for long. He will soon find himself without his unending army, once I destroy these crucibles. General, I bring grave news. The king is dead.
I'd heard rumors, but I hoped. I didn't really care for the king at first, but he turned into a good ruler. Hadn't been himself lately, though. The last of his trusted advisors died recently. Hit him hard, it did. He would have recovered eventually. Now, he'll never get the chance.
The soul crucibles turn the dead into reapers?
Sadly, yes.
Including the Death Maidens?
Their story is as tragic as Malthael's. Once the vanguard of his wisdom angels, they followed him down the path to darkness.
Evil must die. Nephilim. Death comes for you.
At long last, a hero comes to save us. That won't bring my wife back, though, will it?
We stayed to fight, Robert and me. But he fell. And when they started to tear into him, I panicked. I ran.
I am certain you would have died too, had you stayed.
My library isn't far from here. I was closing everything up for the day when I heard the fighting in the streets. I barred the doors and then squeezed through the back window to escape. But I'll have to come up with something more exciting when I write my official account, won't I? You've heard the legend of the Tomb of Rakis, haven't you? Its location has never been found. Most scholars think it's underneath Westmarch, but I suspect it's somewhere outside the city. Rakis was a clever man, after all. With Justinian dead, I fear another contest for the throne. If we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. And nobody wants to read the same story twice.
Who's this?
I'm Bryson. I was trapped in a cellar until Hadrig rescued me.
Ha! And now he won't go away.
You saved his life. Doesn't that make you responsible for him?
No, I'm responsible for myself. Though I have decided to repay Hadrig by helping him.
And I told you to stay away from my forge.
Is there anything on your mind, Hadrig?
Yes. I've noticed your Templar friend is somewhat distracted these days.
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth.
Oh? I see you looking at Arena every other moment.
Oh, it's just the way her hair catches the sun. Yeah, it's very bright.
I grew up over by the docks. Not the good part of town, but it's what my parents could afford. They died when the plague swept through a few years ago, within hours of each other. Like they had to stay together. I used to hate them for leaving me, but now, it's a relief they didn't have to see all this happen.
Is it true that King Justinian IV is dead? That would mean I'm 7th, no, 6th in line for the throne.
I can't believe we're still alive. And it's all thanks to you. I thought we would die in that foul-smelling place.
Did you grab the jewelry at least?
Harold, those monsters were about to kill us.
Well, I would rather be dead than poor.
It is good to see you again, though it seems like we are only brought together in the worst of circumstances. But I suppose if times were better, we would never have met. For a moment, I heard one of my sister's voices. I could not make out the words.
Perhaps it is an echo of the magic the Prophet used to put you and your sisters to sleep.
My sisters are gone now, and I am the last memory of a world long since forgotten.
You do not know how your sisters died, or how the Prophet's magic failed.
Well, the world's under attack and people are dying everywhere. It must be time for us to go on another adventure, right? The city is dark and ruined, yet you look lovelier than ever. How do you manage it?
I stay focused. Oh, and I ignore flattery.
Well, that's a pity. Flattery is one of my specialties. This was a fine city before the attack. I wish you could have seen it.
Cormac always wanted to bring me here.
probably shouldn't bring that up with him.
What's bothering you, Cormac? You're not your usual joyful self today.
For too long have I lived with the knowledge that my order tortures its initiates and twists their minds. I need to know how high this evil reaches. If my whole order is corrupt, what does it mean to be a Templar? What am I?
A great man, who lived his life adhering to a code he believed to be true.
But it wasn't, was it? The guilty will answer for their transgressions. I swear it.
There was a great gem market here in Westmarch. I spend many a carefree day browsing the aisles. To think that I will never again see all those happy little stalls, those rows of jewels, and those gem cutters.
I found him in the streets. He seemed in a daze, so I brought him here with me, but he's hardly said anything. He's nobility of some sort, but I don't recognize the seal on his ring.
The flames!
The flames? Well, he was covered in soot. Perhaps he escaped from a fire. He never says more than a word or two at a time.
You ask who's to blame for this doom? All of Westmarch, reveling in sin, worshipping petty idols. The Zakarum are gone, and the Order of Malthael now rises. Praise Malthael, and your souls may yet be saved. He spares only the faithful. Donate to the Order and prove your conviction.
After years of my pleading, the Angiris Council has finally agreed to send me in search of Malthael. I will not fail in this, as my master's presence is sorely needed in the high heavens. Owing to Malthael's growing fascination with the humans, Tyrael has suggested I begin my search on Sanctuary. I did not find Malthael on Sanctuary, but I did find humans. Far too many of them. They murder and cheat one another while allowing their brothers to starve. If their true power is ever released, we are all doomed. They have a choice between good and evil, and they overwhelmingly choose evil. I grew disgusted by humanity during my time on Sanctuary. When at last I found Malthael, I was not surprised to learn that he felt the same way. We will cleanse creation of the scourge that is humankind, and when we are finished, the tragic mistake of Anarius will be gone. We must do everything in our power to slow the Nephilim down, so that the collection of souls is not interrupted. It is the key to Malthael's victory.
The attacks are getting worse. They'll reach the survivors soon. We've been here for days. These people can't last much longer.
Escort them to the Survivors' Enclave, immediately.
When I first beheld the Corpse Raiser, I thought myself capable of defeating him. Then he reached out his arm, and the ground in front of him was bathed in a spectral light. The bones of men and beasts rose from the earth and advanced on me.
Harry, we've got to save my friends. This is all Justinian's fault. Some king he is.
King Justinian must have fled the city by now. It's time for the people to rise up.
Don't be a fool. The only chance you have is to all work together.
But this is our chance to get out from under the king's yoke.
That's treason, citizen. You best watch yourself.
Thanks for helping, but this isn't over. The king has failed us all. If you don't believe me, read this. His private journal.
And what are you doing with the king's private journal?
Well, let's just say it's from someone who cares about us common folk.
All know the reputation of the exorcists of Westmarch, those spiritual warriors specialized in removing demonic possession. By custom, they arrive in darkness, clad in cloaks as black as the night that conjured them. They work in secret, extracting the demons that dwell within their subjects. Now, Malthael has turned them, and they roam the city in their inhuman forms, stripping the souls from all they encounter.
Please help me! They have my mother and father upstairs!
They killed him!
Mother! Where's Mia?
I snuck her out back. Through the bookcase.
In the alley? There are bandits or worse out there!
This door will have to wait. Kill him!
Caitlin! I thought you abandoned me. No, dear sister. Never. Come with me now, Mia. Mother will be so happy you're safe.
Champion, a Reaper killed us all. I panicked and failed my men. Now they are soulless husks. Only my spirit was able to resist the call of Malthael. Please, put them to rest and end my shame. The Reaper that killed my men is outside, in the courtyard. Please, slay it, for all of us. Thank you. Nothing can bring back my men, but revenge dulls the pain.
The shadow touched me, and darkness spread across my vision until all I could see was blackness. It gave way to a pale light that sapped my strength. It seemed so easy. But instead, I drew upon the last of my will and fought back. Color flooded back into my sight. The shadow was right before me, and I drove my spear through it.
This is too clean for Reaper kills. So who did this? What? More dead?
Death to the nobles!
What is this?
Revolution! It's time for our oppressors to fall. The king is in the city, but we have a trap waiting for him.
I hate to question your genius plan, but it seems like a very bad time to depose your king.
What? You're not with us? Then die with our enemies!
You're good at fighting, aren't you? My friend's down the hall. I have to get to him. You're the hero from Vestian's Keep. How did you get here? You saved my life. I helped. You took my sword, didn't you? I think we're safe now. Does that mean you'll give me my sword back? No. You go on ahead. We'll meet up with you later. And we'll keep fighting, just like you.
Many of the oldest noble houses in Westmarch kept massive hunting dogs on their grounds. Though docile enough in life, they have become terrors in the hands of the Reapers. Now these beasts lead the packs of smaller dogs as they chase down the citizens of Westmarch. I don't even want to record what they do to the corpses.
I can see the madness in your eyes. Another lost soul Malthael must answer for.
No! I must prove myself to death. Prove I am worthy. Worthy to gather the souls that sustain him. I can hear them. The voices speak to me again. What? Death is coming? But I can't die. I can't. I am too important to have my life just thrown away. Please, tell me how I can avoid my fate. You want me to do what? Must I? Oh, yes. Yes, I will. I swear it. I will do anything.
Some of my men are pinned down in the courtyard, fighting revenants. Please help me rescue them. Do you know why this is happening? It's madness!
Just get your men to the Survivors' Enclave at the Cathedral as quickly as possible.
Just seeing these things walking the streets of Westmarch fills me with rage.
When I saw what the demons did to Chaldeum, I felt the same. Use that fury.
Sound advice.
Leave now! Save yourself! I told you to leave! Those monsters have stripped my humanity from me! The angels and their monsters are killing everyone. What will they do to me when they find out what I truly am? My mother and the demon attack she survived. It's all too horrible to contemplate.
What are you doing?
I'm summoning back the souls that have been stolen from these poor people in order to restore their lives.
Are you mad? They're rotting. Their souls cannot be resurrected through magic, or any means.
Wait, what's that noise? Oh dear, this wasn't supposed to happen.
That fool is sure to kill himself. Your ignorance is astounding. No more magic.
Understand?
Of course. Oh, of course. Oh, bless you, my good woman.
The great pestilence in Westmarch killed both humans and beasts alike. The panicked survivors then threw the corpses of both into the plague tunnels. Now the Reaper's presence has revived many of those interred there, with the bones of beasts rising again as skeletal crawlers, driven to kill the living.
To my snivelling offspring, if you are reading this, then I am dead, and you have come to claim my fortune. Well, you still can't have it. I have set traps to stop you from even trying. So, enjoy the rest of your poor, miserable, and cowardly lives.
Death will consume all. Rise! Rise! Your soul belongs to me.
We fight for all that is good. We cannot lose.
Of course. Just keep telling yourself that.
Nephilim, I knew the greed that infects your kind would not let you pass this chest by. And now, you shall suffer for it.
A chance for glory. Help! Help! These monsters have trapped me in here!
Thank you. Had I remained in that inferno any longer, I surely would have died.
These monsters were once the most notorious and reviled criminals in Westmarch, drawn up from the deepest, darkest cells of the city's prisons. Each was worse than the last. Heartless murderers who had butchered countless men, women, and children. In death, Malthael birthed them in forms that matched their twisted, callous souls, creating perfect instruments of slaughter. The executioners have earned their name.
The end comes.
You destroyed the Coven. You, of all people, will understand what I'm doing here. Our ill-gotten treasure is behind this door. We did despicable things to amass it. Desecrated tombs, robbed corpses, things you would never do. I was going to destroy it, but you, the Hand of Righteousness, you can use it for good.
We should tread cautiously. I'm not sure any cultist can be trusted.
What brings you here, Necromancer? Do you fight for the living or the dead?
I strive to maintain balance between the two. Death's minions threaten to overwhelm the living, so they must be culled. This beacon will draw many of Death's soldiers here, to their demise. I was about to activate it.
Please, allow me the honor.
It has been good fighting by your side, but I have much work left to do. Perhaps we shall meet again someday.
You are an honorable warrior, Necromancer. Haven't we seen him somewhere before?
Malthael's fallen angels have brought death to Westmarch, raising an army of reapers from the city's slain defenders. Once, these men and women were our protectors. Now, they are our executioners, scouring the city for every living soul and putting them to the sword. Any other archer would have fled as I charged, but this one stood its ground, staring down the arrow's shaft through lifeless, empty eye sockets. Even as I swung my blade to take off its head, the thing loosed another shot. How can we fight an enemy that has no fear, nor thought for its own self-preservation? Though this Reaper wields a dangerous sword, its shield, with its rows of razor-sharp spikes, poses the greater threat. With a single thrust, it can open a man from waist to throat. That shield was not made for protection. It was made to cripple, maim, and kill.
My personal guard is the best that money can buy. They will save us. I thank you for assisting my guards. You are a true hero. Now, let us depart before more monsters arrive.
Wait! What's this?
No one escapes the harvest of souls, you fool.
Thank Akarat you were here.
The Seraph was on me before I knew it, the mass of its bloated flesh soundless as it floated above the ground. When I finally noticed it, I could not move. It was as though I was trapped in a waking nightmare. I looked down and saw tendrils of energy wrapped around my feet and realized it was not fear that held me, but the Seraph's magic.
That Death Maiden controls the Soul Crucible. Time for her to die.
There is no place for her in our world, so let us help her leave it.
You have called the darkness down upon yourself, mortal.
Thank you. I knew you would arrive in time to save me.
How could you know that?
I am Miriam Jazia, a seer of the Vetchin people. I foresaw our meeting, but I did not see this horror. I have come to help you. There is one crucible left, and if you destroy that, the maidens will not be able to create more. There is no time to waste. We must be on our way now. Malthael, he's watching you.
You should cease following me, and get to the Survivors' Enclave before you're killed.
Nonsense. You'll protect me. And after experiencing what those things do to people, let's just say, I need to see you destroy the final crucible with my own eyes, if I am ever to sleep again. I see you have much guilt over Leah's fate. I see the past as well as the future. You must not let it consume you.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll be fine once I kill Adria.
You shouldn't be so dour. You have much to be joyful about.
Are you mocking me?
I have learned that in terrible situations it is better to laugh than to cry. Perhaps when you have lost as much as I, you will understand.
I can hear my husband moaning inside his sarcophagus. Please end his suffering. Do not struggle so, my love. This hero has come to set you free. My thanks, hero. Now we may spend eternity together.
To be freed from my torment and have my soul reunited with yours. I can't imagine a more blissful afterlife.
Wait, what is that?
Your eternity ends now. All souls are forfeit to Malthael!
Ah, I heard you were in town, hero. Should have known you'd show up in time for a fight. Keep an eye out. If I know these bastards, they've got reinforcements coming. Well, we've made them angry now, haven't we? You're just as good as I remember, old friend. I'll be seeing you again soon.
The phantasms are unlike any spirits I have seen on Sanctuary. They bear a resemblance to lesser demons, but the souls of demons are always reborn in the hells. I suspect the phantasms may be the remnants of some early Nephilim, those born more demon than angel.
One would expect the Angel of Death to show some respect to those already dead.
So, Seer, tell me, does this incessant death and destruction ever reach an end?
Of course it will end, and you will live a long and happy life.
Why do I feel you're lying to me?
Because I was not being entirely truthful. That, and you are a Sorceress that will never believe you can be happy and content. Though you are skinnier than my visions led me to expect. You just don't take care of yourself. It's always about saving the world first, isn't it?
And that is just as it should be, madam.
Don't mind me. I'll just be waiting over here. You are such the artist when it comes to dispatching Death's minions.
What was that?
That would be Urzael.
And just who is this Urzael?
Urzael is the angel who commands Malthael's forces in this city. I think you made him angry.
Good. Let's get to the Enclave. I need to see if Tyrael has made any progress.
Is this truly the work of angels? I don't understand. How could they?
Sadly, it's true. One of the angels has gone mad. I am going to put him and his followers down like the dogs they are.
Good.
You are a quiet sort, Serena. Sneak back home and fetch some of our savings.
But the streets are crawling with those horrid creatures.
That's precisely why you must go, dearest. Nobody notices you.
I know who was responsible for this. It's the poor. They've summoned these monstrosities to take Westmarch for themselves. My mother warned me about the poor. They want my wealth, but they don't want to work for it. And now they've created an army of death creatures. Well, when I'm king, I'll just show them. We're not going to die, are we? Tell me we're not going to die. I don't want to lose my soul! Quite unlike me to fall apart like that. I can't imagine what came over me. Let's keep this between ourselves, eh?
Oh, I can't believe it. My best hammer's gone missing. It couldn't have walked off on its own now, could it, lad?
One of the men needed a hammer. He promised to return it.
Fool boy! I'll never see it again!
I'm sorry, Hadrig.
Get out of my sight.
There was no reason to dismiss Bryson. He was doing his best to help you.
He's a fool, and fools end up dead around here.
Ah, that is what I thought.
What are you talking about?
Your father, your wife, even your apprentice. You couldn't stand losing another person you cared about, could you?
You keep that nonsense to yourself, or I might forget how much I owe you.
Those who perish without embracing Malthael are eternally damned. But I can commune with our Lord, asking him to grant them a reprieve. Only a simple payment is required.
Bless my poor husband, please!
You must save my children!
Please, my friends, one at a time. Bring your offerings to the stand, and I will grant your loved ones this blessing.
Did you know there were once 2 moons? Lyria is the one that is no more. I think it's time I told you the whole story of Zai and his master, the god of desire, Durgist.
Of course. I'd love to hear your version of that story. I'm certain it will be amusing.
Well, it's not amusing. Durgist's jewel has appeared again, and the time for secrets is over.
No more secrets? Then tell me if you're a god.
I was telling you about Lyria, wasn't I? Oh, she was so beautiful that Durgist was determined to make her his own. Oh, yes, he pursued her relentlessly, showering her with gifts and attention until she succumbed and agreed to become his wife. But Durgist's jealousy was so great, he hid Lyria high in the heavens, far away from the reach of men and gods.
Jealousy is for the weak-minded. It clouds one's reasoning with wanton desire.
Yes, that was Durgist's. Desire was his very nature. Zai was the greatest thief, and he wanted Lyria. He waited patiently for a night when Lyria's path hid her behind the silver moon. For when the sun set, Durgist had to leave Lyria's side, you see, for desire rules the night. He could only watch from below as she drifted across the ocean of stars. Then Zai climbed, silent as a whisper, into Lyria's palace in the heavens.
Ah, true love had captured his heart, eh?
No, but stealing from Durgist would make Zai a legend. I'm telling you, Lyria was so lonely, and Zai was so alive and full of life. They shared one perfect night, and after, she emerged, blushing. Durgist raced to her side, but Zai was gone. The ruby around Lyria's neck was the only sign that he had ever been there.
Zai's conscience didn't trouble him for so openly taunting Durgist?
No, not then. He felt pride. Oh, Durgist was possessed by an all-consuming rage. As Zai had stolen what was most valuable to Durgist, he would take from Zai all that he held dear.
Durgist didn't kill Zai, did he?
Durgist took something much more dear than Zai's life. His joy. He killed everyone Zai had loved and held dear. Oh, then he slew Lyria. Her light went out from the heavens. The seas wept, and the waves of their tears crashed upon the shore. In the end, Zai trapped Durgist in the ruby Lyria had worn. Zai kept the stone around his neck as a reminder. In time, though, the burden grew too great to bear, and he cast off the stone. His divinity? Everything. Where there once stood a young god, there was now just an old man.
An old man that bears a striking resemblance to you, perhaps.
So the story says. Zai's jewel is here, in Westmarch.
Here? Then what are we waiting for?
Dinner first, then we can go after the jewel. Do not worry. I think it can wait for a little while. Yes, this is the place! The jewel is here!
Shen, where are you going? Come back here! Shen, are you hurt?
Just a little fall. Don't worry!
Shen, where are you?
Do not worry. I'm just down here. Everything seems perfectly fine. Wait, what is that? Yes, all of this seems so familiar. Like it's happened before. Hey, where are you? You're not lost, are you? Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. Well, there's no point in standing around, is there? Let's go find the jewel.
Oh, Shen, you crazy old man. Don't run off by yourself. This place is too dangerous.
Did you say dangerous? This is nothing. Just a little stroll. The jewel isn't far from here. I can almost taste it. It's so good to be able to show you around again. We really should do it more often, huh? Maybe next time, one of the night markets, huh? I do so love a good walk, don't you? It helps me figure things out, such as what I'd like to have for dinner. I must find the jewel. Oh, little jewel! Little jewel! Where are you? I'll find you. Where is it? Where is it? I found it. The jewel. There it is. No. This cannot be. It's been destroyed. Dirges is free.
Zai, is that you? You look different.
I believe you are mistaken. I am Shen.
Zai? Is that you?
Zai is gone, and no more. He's a legend, and a myth. The man who stands before you is but a simple jeweler. I have seen the years, and I have loved and lost, and I have grieved and wept.
Whoever you are, you have freed me, and I am happy to have looked upon your face.
And I am filled with joy to have seen yours once again. Farewell, and go upon this last journey.
Shen, are you well?
Please, I just need a moment alone. Do not worry about me. I will find you later. It feels like a lifetime since I last held this jewel in my grasp. Oh, the memories flood back into me. I was a vain fool in my youth. I know it will be hard for you to think of me so, but it's true, though it was a long, long time ago.
So what do we do now?
Well, Dirges has escaped, and it's more important than ever for me to find him.
He's been agitated ever since he mentioned the woman. Who was she? Did she start the fire?
Looking for something. Something hidden.
I don't know what to do. He's getting worse. I fear he will not live much longer. Could it be that the Prophet abandoned us? Why else would his magic fail to protect us while we slept?
We can't answer those questions, but his magic did succeed in keeping you safe.
But my sisters died. Why them and not me?
Fate likes to toy with us. Perhaps you lived for some special reason, but it could just as easily have been luck.
I cannot believe that. There was a reason, and I will find it. When I left my sister Lysa, I took her magic focus as a reminder. I scryed it today to see if it held any clues, and I found strong traces of the demonic magic that killed her. It reminded me of the Viserys magic from before we served the Prophet.
Those mages are long dead. Any thirst they had for revenge died with them.
When I cast the magic upon her focus, I heard her voice again. And this time, I understood. She said one word. Irena.
There's no easy way to say this, but I have to leave, and I won't be returning.
Very funny.
I'm serious. My brother's imprisoned in Kingsport with no way to defend himself, and I must free him.
I understand your concern, but you will die long before you reach Kingsport if Westmarch falls.
All right. I'll stay for as long as I can, but only because I know how much you need me.
Why fight so hard? Thousands are dead. What do another dozen matter?
Now I hear those Reapers are taking people's souls? This is madness!
If you hadn't come along when you did, I don't know what might have happened.
It was the least I could do. Anyone would have done the same.
But you didn't have to help. You could have run right by.
Tyrael told me of your actions. You killed Diablo himself.
Yes, I did. It was my destiny. I was fulfilling a prophecy written long before I was born.
I don't know that the world will ever understand what it took to face such pure evil.
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps I'll write about my adventures one day.
My father was the commander of the Knights of Westmarch. He assumed I would become a soldier, just like him.
You did not want to be a soldier?
I grew up on stories of the fearless Horadrim, Tal Rasha, Jared Kane. That was what I wanted to be. My father thought it was all myth. Wasn't he surprised when I actually became one of them? Can I ask you about Deckard Cain?
He was a wise man, a great scholar. He didn't deserve to die the way he did. If he had lived, who knows how events would have unfolded. Everything would be different.
Could one man make such a difference?
I'd prefer not to speak of this any longer. I have a city to save. How have you held out so long against the Reaper's onslaught?
It has been a brutal task. A lot of good men sacrificed themselves to save us. But even that wasn't enough. If you hadn't shown up when you did, we might already be dead.
Why haven't the other cities of Westmarch sent reinforcements? Bramwell? Kingsport? What are they waiting for?
Have you not heard? Cities everywhere are under attack. No place is safe.
Yes, Malthael strikes all across Sanctuary.
I did not know. That is disturbing.
The Soul Stone must change. Death comes to all.
Look, the sliver is changing.
Malthael is altering the stone in some manner.
Exactly. He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch in order to alter the stone. Yet his purpose still eludes me.
He's killing everyone. What more do you need to know?
If we want to stop him, we must know what he's going to do next.
Urzael has done this to finish collecting the souls of Westmarch.
Urzael, it is well past time for him to die. Where is he?
All I know is that he is in a tower somewhere in the Westmarch Heights, and that he will be quite rude to you. Before you set out to kill him, you should stop by my cart. I can enchant some items for you.
I can see you're still hurting.
I have felt pain before, but nothing like this. It is different being mortal. The pain wears on you.
Welcome to humanity. Do you have any idea why Malthael would want the Black Soul Stone?
I have been thinking on that since our encounter, but every scenario I envision simply doesn't make sense, regardless of what he has become.
Well, whatever his reasons, we know they are not good. Why did Malthael spare you in the tomb of Rakkus? Why didn't he take your soul?
I may be mortal, but I am not Nephilim. I have no demon blood in me, and therefore Malthael does not see me as his enemy.
But he thinks that of us? We saved heaven. We killed the lords of hell.
Something he was never able to do, I might add.
That is of no consequence. You are half demon to him and therefore on the wrong side of the eternal conflict.
What can you tell me about Urzael?
He is Malthael's lieutenant, much the same way that Iswal was mine. He does his master's bidding without question.
Why didn't Tyrael just destroy the Black Soul Stone?
The Black Soul Stone was made by a man, unlike previous Soul Stones. We had no idea what would happen if we destroyed it. It seemed a better idea to hide it away forever. We had no way of knowing that Malthael was watching us the entire time. How could we?
It's too late for blame now. Tell me, when we retrieve the stone, what then? Just hope it doesn't fall into the wrong hands again?
I don't know. But it's better for us to have the stone than Malthael. If we make it that far, we'll worry about what to do next.
I have heard that the Grand Maester himself is in Westmarch. It is imperative that I find and speak to him. I will tell him of the sins his order is committing.
He leads your order. He is likely the most corrupt of them all.
No, you are wrong. My first memories of being a Templar are of him comforting me, welcoming me to the Brotherhood. I looked into his eyes. He is a good man, I tell you. Today is the day I find out how deep the Order's corruption runs.
They must answer for what they have done to you and your brothers, Cormac.
I will do it, even if it means going against my entire Order. I could use a good friend by my side.
I will be right here, by your side.
This is one of our strongholds. I will have my answers soon.
I suggest you brace yourself for the worst. This could get violent, quickly.
Cormac! Everyone says you helped slay Azmodan and Belial. They're calling you the greatest of all the Templar.
It's good to see you as well, brother. But I come with troubling news about the Order. I must speak with the Grand Maester.
You're in luck. He's here. Standing orders are to send you to him upon your return. Take this, the Grand Maester's new proclamation.
The day of reckoning is at hand. We will rise from the ashes of Westmarch and lead mankind into the light. We shall have recruits by the thousands. Every citizen will be another Templar added to the cause. Once cleansed by the Inquisitors, they will become an unstoppable force.
This proclamation from the Maester, it's damning. He admits his own guilt. How could I have not seen this?
Oh, we all make mistakes. You just make a lot of them.
You've done us all proud. We know you had nothing to do with Jondar's corruption, Cormac. You're a hero. Our time has finally come, and we owe it all to you.
Bring me that whip. It is time to purify this initiate.
Stop! How can you do this to your fellow Templar?
We bless them with the truth, as we did for you, Cormac. But if the greatest of all Templar wishes them freed, it shall be so. We've been ordered to take you to the Grand Maester as soon as possible. Follow me.
Cormac, the shining example of a true Templar. We have much to talk about.
Yes, we do, Grand Maester. You have betrayed us all, starting with the torment of our initiation.
It was brutal but necessary. I did the hard things no one else would, for the ascension of humanity. I carry the weight of my actions with me always. Are you ready to make a similar sacrifice, Cormac? Will you stand with me and become Meister in due time? I need you.
But... No! Your power has driven you to madness if you think I would help you rule over mankind!
This saddens me greatly, my son. I am sorry. Kill him.
Hey! I'm the only one who hits Cormac around here!
Man is a flawed being. Time and again we have seen good men given to temptation. Though it is painful, I have found only one answer. We must cleanse the minds of our recruits, so they will never fall prey to the corruption of the demons, or the blind self-righteousness of the angels. You brought this on yourself, Cormac.
I dedicated my life to a lie. Everything I thought I knew, it was all in the service of a madman. I swear, that every Templar I meet will be freed from the lies of the Order. And if they refuse, I will be forced to convince them.
I can help with that. I'm terribly convincing.
They will believe you. I know it.
The Grand Maester, behind the Order's corruption. Deep down, I think I always knew. Perhaps that's why I never felt worthy of the Order. As if I was not a true Templar.
You were more of a Templar than any of those corrupt fools. They never reached your heart, my friend. But now that you know the truth, what will you do?
I believe in you and your quest. This world must be saved, regardless of the corruption of the Templar.
What else can I tell you? I had a vision of death blanketing our world. So I left my people, my family, to come help you.
Leaving your family based simply on a vision must have been a very difficult thing to do.
Nonsense. We veteran often receive visions telling us when it is time to find a new family. I've had many in my life. I still love and miss each and every one of them. Except for Jonah. I never really liked that one.
What can you tell me about Urzael?
Well, he seems to have an affinity for fire. I'd watch out for that if I were you.
I guessed as much. Can you tell me anything useful?
Urzael was sent to find Malthael by our friend Tyrael. He blames himself for what Urzael has become.
Death comes for all.
I was so driven, so committed to the Order. You must think me a fool.
A fool? Never. Amusing? Well, sometimes. But you are a valuable companion to me, Cormac. What the Order did to you was despicable, and no fault of yours.
My master has begun his work on the stone. Nothing that you do matters. Soon demons spawn like you will be gone forever.
Are you finished? No one threatens my people. No one.
The demon spawn shall perish in flames.
Of course. Run away like the coward you are.
You killed the angel who was responsible for this horror.
Yes, but his master is the true evil. He still lives, but I mean to fix that. I will make sure this never happens again.
I believe you.
I wonder if we could sell wigs made from your hair.
That is enough, Harold! If we survive this nightmare, I am leaving for my parents' estate in Bramwell.
That's a grand idea, dearest. Your father has more than enough money to...
Follow me, and I will tie you naked to a tree for the crows. Maybe then you'll finally think of something other than money.
Thanks to you, I can finally bury my wife in peace.
Now that Urzael is dead, I'm going to Bramwell to find my son.
I respect your bravery, but it's still not safe out there.
I don't care.
You really must stop thanking me. It was nothing.
A dozen people ran by me and did nothing. You're a hero.
Just in the right place at the right time, I suppose.
This disaster will make for great reading someday, provided that anyone survives to chronicle it. How fortunate I am to have met the savior of Westmarch. You simply must let me ask you some questions when your work is done. Rackus conquered all of Honduras before founding Westmarch. Repelling this invasion would be child's play for him.
You're a fascinating person. I'm curious about your life.
Oh, I could tell you stories. We were frequently set upon by bandits. It became quite tiresome, really. One time, I had had enough. I know this is hard to believe, but when I was younger, I was even more vivacious than I am now. So I seduced their leader, convinced him to free us by giving him details on how he could rob a local magistrate. He'd heard the Vetchen could predict the future, so he believed me. They were caught and hung 3 days later. I must have forgotten to tell him that part of my vision. Our wagon train came to a dying village once. The people threw rocks and jeered. There was only one poor family who welcomed us. I charmed my way into the mayor's office and told him that his village would soon be wealthier than he could imagine. He threw me out. He thought I was trying to rob him. Well, my vision showed me where the gold deposits were, but not who would find them. So I told the family who had shown us kindness where to dig. They are quite wealthy now. I actually knew Hedrig when he and his soon-to-be wife traveled with the Vetchen. She was beautiful. She had mystical powers of her own. I taught her a thing or two. Eventually they were married. It was then that I had a horrific vision of what would befall them. We were friends, but there was nothing I could do. So I shared my wine. We laughed. We danced. I wanted them to be happy for as long as possible before. She never spoke to me about it, but I think she knew.
It's time for me to go. My brother will die in the Kingsport dungeons if I don't act now.
A Kingsport prisoner, you say? Those poor devils were all transported to our cells in Westmarch last week. But we haven't heard from the garrison since the attack started.
Edlin, I have to find him. Will you help me, my friend? Right then, this is where they're holding Edlin. Let me do the talking.
Looking for your brother, Lyndon?
Wait, this is not right.
That is no guard.
Damn it all!
The Thieves Guild always finds who it's looking for. Unfortunately for you, he's our friend.
The Thieves Guild infiltrated the entire dungeon?
You really angered them, friend.
No one betrays the Thieves Guild and lives to tell of it! You die for what you did to Nigel!
Edlin! He's...
I am sorry, my friend.
I never should have joined the guild. He told me, but I wouldn't listen.
You bear no responsibility for his death, Lyndon. He was killed before we reached Westmarch.
That dagger looks very familiar.
Take it with you, but be quick about it. It is time to leave. This isn't your fault, Lyndon. You must not blame yourself.
What do you want me to say? That I wish he'd never known me? That I wish he'd had a brother who didn't fail him?
You need to let go of your grief. It will do nothing but prey on your mind.
And I suppose the mightiest hero in all the land knows just how to help, eh? No. No, this is something you can't understand.
I heard Liza's voice again, and I could make out more of what she was saying. She is calling out for me, but it sounds as though the voice is speaking to me from far away, from beyond our world.
Perhaps you were right before. Maybe it is a remnant of the Prophet's magic, but we do know for certain that she is dead.
No, she is alive. It's not just the Prophet's magic, and more than that, she needs me.
I have rid us of Urzael's tiresome existence. Without his leadership, the Reaper should be easy for Torian's men to finish off.
You have saved Westmarch, my friend.
But we're no closer to knowing Malthael's ultimate plan, and he grows stronger with each passing moment. Time is running out.
That strange woman you brought here believes she can help. She insisted on speaking with you immediately. Urzael is slain. Westmarch is saved. And yet these thoughts weigh constantly upon me.
Even amongst all the pain Urzael caused, we must savor what little enjoyment we can from our victory. It is all we have.
Wise words, my friend. Angels are cursed with a wider perspective of events. To live in the moment is a part of mortal existence I must learn to embrace.
Why are the angels allowing Malthael to run amok? They could help us stop him.
There is confusion and dissension in the high heavens. You must remember, Malthael was our leader once.
So, that was the past. You're on the Angiris Council. Can you not summon the angelic host?
Imperius commands the host, and he will not unleash them on a fellow angel, especially a former member of the Angiris Council.
I should have known he was involved somehow. I won't forget this.
Chelsea, I know how to find Malthael, but you will not like what I have to tell you.
I rarely do. Why don't you just tell me?
There is only one person who knows how to find Malthael. She waits for you in the Blood Marsh, and you know her well. Adria.
Adria. Finally.
Adria is not as you remember her. She is channeling blood magic to prepare herself to retrieve the Black Soul Stone.
What exactly does that mean?
Some things cannot be explained. You must see them for yourself.
Why do I even talk to you at all?
You have no sense of adventure.
You're not going anywhere without me.
Oh, really? And why is that?
Someone has to make sure you don't kill Adria before you find out where Malthael is.
I shall try to restrain myself. But make no mistake, she will die. I have delivered the city of Westmarch from Urzael and his reapers. The people are now free to rebuild their homes and their lives. Lorath and I depart for the Blood Marsh to find Adria. She, of all people, knows how to locate Malthael. I will take great joy in extracting that information before I kill her.
Malthael is fundamentally altering the Black Soul Stone. It will now pull in all the demonic essence from whatever plane of existence it finds itself in. But mankind is born of angel and demon alike. Every mortal, save myself, has demonic essence as an intrinsic part of their being. Losing that will rip their body and soul apart.
We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephilim ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all the same. Leah would understand. We need answers more than we need revenge. This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed it.
Our friend Adria.
It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that? This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the Blood Marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but will reveal the correct path to a Nephilim such as yourself.
I consider myself an expert on all matters concerning boggits. The boggit itself is a small, odd creature given to foraging and burrowing. Under normal circumstances, it fears humans, but it can be incited to great violence when under the influence of magical objects. Rings in particular seem to excite them. The tusked boggin is a ferocious, hulking beast with an exceedingly bad temper. Aided by packs of boggits, it will fight anything that crosses its path. Invariably, some of the boggits will die, but the survivors are rewarded with scraps left over from the boggin's prey. If only my assistants would work for so little. The boggin trapper's snares are surprisingly effective, though I have no idea how they learned to fashion them. Most of the boggin's feeble intelligence seems to be centered around killing and eating, and in this respect, their efforts are admirable. Perhaps I should hide one of these snares near my tent when I'm sleeping.
You can run, Adria, but I will find you.
Remember to get the information we need before you...
Yes. Information first, and then killing.
Well, that's not very reassuring. This is one of the guide stones, but nothing happens when I approach it.
Please, allow me.
There are 4 entrances to the Nephilim city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb, however. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.
I had believed my new assistant was the noisiest creature in the world, but that was before I discovered the Shrieking Terror. This bat-like monstrosity produces the most ear-splitting racket imaginable, and furthermore managed to make my assistant scream even louder. I think my headache will last for weeks now.
I must find another guide stone to determine which sigil is the correct one.
Perhaps, when this is over, I'll return here to live a life of isolation.
until I reach enlightenment.
Isolation is not for you, my friend. You'd miss her too much.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Now I know which sigil marks the correct passage. Now here is something I did not expect to see.
Begone! I am not yet ready to entertain guests! No! It's almost finished! Now it will never be finished! I curse you, Saul! You sold me this piece of waterlogged land to build my castle on! Well, I will have the last laugh, you dog! I will build my castle here, and it will be the grandest castle ever! Do you hear me, Saul? Ever!
What? I'm not dead? You have my thanks. But a word of warning. These animals carry a plague and must be killed before it spreads. To create a potion to fight it, I cut one of them open and took its innards. They smell it on me. That's why they're attacking. Here, take this as my way of saying thanks. I must get back to my work.
I encountered the most troublesome bats in the caves outside Westmarch. My companions and I had sheltered there with the intent of organizing my many records, when the miserable creatures appeared and tore several of the scrolls to pieces. Truly, the world shall be a poorer place for this lost wisdom.
Zale, I am glad you are well.
Who is this?
I am Zale, a necromancer who seeks to maintain the balance.
Plus, he's a Haradrim.
That's my friend Humbard. He's a skull. Please ignore him.
Zale helped Tyrael steal the Black Soul Stone from heaven.
I did, but I was not in the tomb when Mafia struck.
If he was, Zale would have shown that angel what it means to cross a necromancer.
That's enough, Humbard.
Why are you out here?
This place is falling to deep imbalance. Something is very wrong here, and I wish to heal the land.
This bog is poisoned by the blood magic of a witch named Adria. I am going to kill her.
Well, that's taken care of. Let's go get a drink.
Even after she is slain, equilibrium will not immediately be restored. It will take time.
Always so serious.
The flesh shaman was created from the blood of the witch Adria. Because of that, the shaman is able to use magic as she does, channeling the power of blood and fire. Luckily, Adria only has so much blood to shed, and not for much longer. I have always wondered how much Adria relied on Diablo's power instead of her own. Based on her blood golems, her magic is very strong. These flesh gorges are raised from earth, stone, and demon blood, and they are driven to feast on humans so they may resemble us more closely. Let's hope they don't succeed. Adria birthed these golems from the blood marsh. Their bodies were formed from the water and earth of the marsh itself, while the venom of the marsh creatures gave them life. Their very skin seems to burst with the poison of this land.
How long do you think Adria would last if I held her head under one of these blood pools?
You are not the one I've been waiting for. Just another of the sickly children. Do not worry. I will end your misery. Bow before your superior, whelp. You are stronger than I expected. Could you actually be the one? I have lived since the beginning. Rest me, and I may finally rest. When I look upon our weakened offspring, I'm filled with rage. Killing them is a mercy, but one I have been unable to extend to myself. I must seek another to do what I cannot, before the endless days drive me to madness.
This is the passage for which I've been searching.
I have uncovered and obscured an ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephilim, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the West. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephilim be lost, but for the record of this single tome? The Nephilim were not gods, but our own ancestors, gifted with long life, magic, and abilities far beyond ours. Yet they were still men. I wonder if these pages hold the key to unlock their powers once again. I will bring the light of Zakarum to the heathens. Here in the east the power of Zakarum wanes, but in the west it will rise, stronger and greater than ever. Yet I have another purpose. The lost Nephilim city of Corvus lies in the west. I will find it. We founded a settlement near the Western Sea. It will grow to be a great city in time. Now that my people are settled, I can begin my own search for the ruins of the Nephilim city, Corvus. The tome implied that it was near this very region. We have begun searching the marsh for the ruins of Corvus. This stinking, festering swamp is punctuated by worn blocks of stone. Perhaps these ancient sentinels are all that remain of the proud Nephilim city. No, there is more to be found. I know it. Last night, I found the ruined Nephilim city. When I stepped into the buried catacombs, I felt a stirring in my blood. And then a wondrous thing. A dim light began to glow all around me, not cast by any torch. It was as though the very stones acknowledged my presence. The Nephilim had such a strong connection to the light that it granted them powers far beyond our own. But I believe that through the light they can be reborn in us. Thus I have consecrated Westmarch, a shining beacon in the west. I have taken for my sigil the Wolf of Corvus, and proclaimed myself king. A decade later, the power of the Nephilim still escapes me. Something long ago stole it from them and keeps it hidden, even today. I have found mention of an artifact called the Worldstone, hidden in the barbarian lands. Now that my son is born, I have rallied my banners to ride to war against them. Years on, the barbarians remain unconquered, and I am a man grown old and frail. My life has seen the founding of Westmarch and the discovery of the Nephilim ruins. But still, the deeper secrets elude me. I leave the task to my son, in whose blood shall carry forth the line of Nephilim kings.
Lorath, this is as far as you go. We will speak again when it is finished.
You're going to kill her, aren't you?
I know what I need to do.
We are all counting on you.
I had half a mind to explore the ancient ruins outside Westmarch, and then I realized they were crawling with dreadful scarabs. Of course, these creatures do not frighten me, but they make my research much too time-consuming, and I am widely known for my efficiency, am I not?
You can almost imagine the ancient Nephilim treading these halls, can't you?
Searching for the maggot brood has been quite an adventure. I first observed the corpse of one near the road to Westmarch, where it raised such a stench that my new assistant vomited twice on my favorite traveling cloak. The stains came out eventually, but I was sorely vexed.
Let's see where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Adria.
The angels will never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path. At least demons are not so rigid in their beliefs.
Angels and demons don't concern me. We will choose our own destiny. But you needn't worry about that.
Diablo sent me a vision. He had returned, and you were the one who freed him.
Never.
He always finds a way. My master will return.
Not in time to save you.
Are you really so angry because of Liam? What a waste!
Before she died, Adria conjured an image of pandemonium.
She was searching for Malthael, so he must be there.
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed. My father could never understand. He was born into privilege and wealth, and he spent every moment of his life trying to protect it. I was his flesh and blood, but he cared more about the names in books and the faces of the paintings on the walls than his living daughter. Do you know what fear is? The fear of who you are. The fear of what your own blood would do if they knew what you were. No, you could never understand it. People look to you as a savior. Have you ever thought about the lives you've taken? They were fathers, lovers, daughters. They asked me what I see when I look into the fire. I see a burning man. I see a burning witch. I see terror and a hunger that will consume everything. What hope do the works of men have against such all-consuming hunger? I gave myself to the flames. My father burned. He screamed as the flames consumed him, and the smell was sickly sweet. He had found me. For once in his life he had noticed me, and when he saw that the flames did not touch me, he breathed one word. It was his last. Witch, they called me, but I turned it against them. When their daughter had a child that needed to disappear, when there was a sickness that none of the healers could cure, who was it they pleaded with? When they needed me, the morality they flaunted in the daylight disappeared, as it always does. The first time I heard him, his voice pierced my skull. It reminded me of the cold and haughty sound of my father, but it was more, a crush of thousands of voices. When I heard him, I saw the flame, and I knew fear. It was a man who came to my bed that night, but when I looked into his eyes, I saw the other, though even he did not know at the time. I did not hear the man's voice, no. I heard the other, the one that has been with me for all these years. I gave myself to him. Leah was never my daughter. She was Diablo's daughter, in truth. I felt blessed to have given the product of my body to my master. He had no interest in me, but in the product of my womb he found life again. I never flinched when I knew her purpose. Daughters are a cheap thing. Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts, you know this.
See? Aren't you happy I didn't tell you beforehand that Adria would turn into a hideous monster?
And that would make me happy. Why, exactly?
You're so much more effective when you're stewing in blind rage, thirsting for revenge. We wouldn't want you to peak too early. Petty details would have just served to distract you.
According to the records, King Rakus had a strong jaw, hair as black as night, and wore gleaming armor over his muscular... Sorry, what was I talking about? Rakus and his sons built much of Westmarch during their time. The ruins and the marshes outside the city may be their work too. Of course, whenever I ask the Crown for gold to further my excavations, there's always a more pressing matter at hand. Every time Westmarch is invaded, a hero appears to save it. History is much easier to write with a strong protagonist.
Our shop will be looted!
Oh, don't worry, dear. I'm sure all the looters have been torn apart by now.
I don't think he will live much longer. Whatever secret he learned will surely be lost with him.
He saw Adria, but she is dead now.
No.
But why? Why would someone do this?
To protect her secrets and her master.
All right, it's him or us.
Are you ready?
I don't know. That glowing sword looks sharp.
I can't stay here. I need to move on.
You can't leave me. Where will I go?
You should be safe here.
Please, just stay a few more days. Where are you going? I have some good news.
Good news?
I mentioned what you did to some guards I met. You could get a commendation or something when this is all over.
Oh, that's fantastic. You don't understand. I'm no hero. Do you know why I was there? I ran away. From my unit, from my friends. While they died, I ran.
But you saved me.
That doesn't change anything.
I was separated from the other soldiers and surrounded by the dead when I saw him. I gazed into the face of death himself. I couldn't move. I just stared as he passed through me. His touch was like ice, so cold. But something in me changed. Something I cannot understand. I now know death better than I know the shape of my hand or my own sword. Hendel charged into battle at my side. I'd known him since I enlisted, but when I looked at him that night, I had a vision. I saw the faces of the men he had killed, and I saw that he would not live to see the morning. I see death everywhere. Even when amongst the living, I see the specter of endless night. But you are different. Death's shadow surrounds you. It obscures all else. I spoke with the necromancer Zale. He said that the source of my visions is not necromancy, but something else. He seemed unnerved by it. My visions cloud everything. I can find no escape. I plan to leave Westmarch, to be alone, far away from the constancy of death. Some people would call it a curse, and sometimes it feels that way. But perhaps it's not. I need time to know for sure.
We can't start to rebuild until we know that the one who caused this devastation is dead.
He will be, as soon as I find him.
I hope so.
I joined a caravan of refugees heading to Bramwell, but we never made it there. Brigands slaughtered everyone. I ran into the forest and hid for days before I dared come out. How am I ever going to find my son?
Lara! Peter!
Who are you looking for, if I may ask?
Oh, it's my children. They're out playing a game, but I'll find them soon enough. Peter and Lara have been playing hide from the monster all day. Such imaginative children.
There are no children here.
I said they were hiding, didn't I?
Leave me alone. I'm getting drunk, and no, I'm not sharing.
Too bad. I could use some of that. You know, if anyone around here could tell you anything about that dagger, it would be Hadrig.
Give it a rest. The bloody Thieves Guild killed him.
You are so certain of that you would just give up? And here I thought you cared about the truth.
Nope. I care about drinking. Until I remember nothing.
So, now it's on to Pandemonium? You'll see a world only a few humans have laid eyes on before.
I've already seen the high heavens. I wasn't impressed.
Ah, the beauty of life is lost on you, isn't it?
I have discovered that Malthael is in Pandemonium.
No doubt he has gone to the fortress. Malthael can hold out there until the end of time. He is forcing us to come to him.
He hides and waits, hoping that if he can delay us long enough, he will grow too powerful even for me.
The only way to Pandemonium is through the high heavens. Let us leave at once.
Pandemonium is the Alpha and the Omega of the eternal conflict. It lies at the center of all things, linking the realms of heaven and hell. Long ago, when the angels were young, the aspect of wisdom found the eye of Anu here. He named it the World Stone, and all of heaven swore to protect it. Pandemonium was destined to be our battlefield. It was formed in the chaos of the last struggle between the Diamond Warrior Anu and the Dragon Tathamet. Now eons of war have scarred every patch of ground. The cycle of victory and defeat is the foundation of our existence and the essence of the eternal conflict. As war raged through Pandemonium, the aspect of justice called for a fortress to be raised around the World Stone. We built a shining citadel, but in time it fell to the demons. It has since changed hands countless times, becoming a patchwork of angelic and demonic expression. The Pandemonium Fortress housed the World Stone for many years, until the angel Inarius and the demon Lilith stole it away. With its loss, there was nothing left to fight for, and the fortress has been abandoned since. Our time in this land has drawn to an end. For now.
They call me a hero. I slew demons beyond count. I won battles and broke sieges, but it availed me nothing. I know that this war can have no victor, only an eternity of revenge, pride, and hatred. Tyrael does not understand. He cannot see beyond the glory of battle. In time he may, but that day is not yet here. There must be others who seek a way out of the endless strife. Angels and demons who feel enslaved by our fate. I cannot be unique in all of creation. I know my path. I will find those disillusioned of the war and lead them.
My father is content to fight the same battles and the same foes while everything turns to ashes. Those victories might last a day, or a year, or 100 years. The war will never be won so long as he and his brothers lead. There is an end to it, but fools like my father are too blind to see it.
I was struck down in the third charge. I lay upon the ground, only to wake in chains. I did not know that demons took prisoners. I babbled like a fool about my dreams of escaping this war. My captor freed me and said that we would meet again. Her name was Lilith, daughter of Mephisto.
I took a prisoner in the battle, an angel whose light was dimming. I brought him to my lair for my amusement, but he surprised me. My touch seemed to breathe life into him. He raved like a madman about how he wished to escape the war. Perhaps I have found someone I can use.
Lilith is me, but of fire and flame. I could never have felt this way about a demon while I was mired in the endless war. The strain holds us prisoner to what we've been told to believe. She and I have made plans. We will bring others to our cause, and together we will escape.
The angel I captured, Inarius, is in love with me. I can feel the intensity of his desire. I told him that we must liberate the World Stone, and then we can be together. We will create something never imagined by those mired in the eternal conflict. A new world.
Those who follow us are strong in purpose and conviction, but we are only few. Yet if we can obtain the power of the World Stone, it will be enough. We will scale the wind-sheer slope, steal into the heart of the fortress, and be gone before anyone notices the stone's disappearance.
Inarius and I stole the World Stone, and now we have a group of renegades to follow us. I have created a new world where we can live in peace, a place of infinite possibilities. Inarius believes that escape is enough. In time, I will show him that even victory is possible. But first, I will give him children.
Can I truly love a demon? When I gave the World Stone to Lilith, I knew I'd been right to seek her all along. We have created a new world. We can live here in peace, away from war. I have named this world Sanctuary. When I see Lilith sleeping at my side, I'm filled with dark thoughts. My sins are real, and I will surely pay for them. We live in peace for now, but it cannot last. They will come for me. But what of my great deeds? When I'm in torment, who will celebrate those? Who will remember Inarius?
Cursed am I to lead an army of the blind. They do not perceive that the angels are fleeing this realm, and the ones they find are merely trapped or lost. A great change is upon us. Withdraw from the fields, my brothers. Some battles can only be won with words.
Enough of your idle speculation, Mephisto.
I breached the fortress and saw it firsthand. The World Stone is gone. The angels I killed knew nothing about it. But since you are so perceptive, maybe you remember who else has been missing. Lilith. We must find her. Rip her limb from limb. Take the World Stone back.
You are all deceived, my brothers. A new age has already begun. Can you not sense them? Ugly creatures born in shadow. They feel terror, hatred, and the desire to destroy. Yes, but they are not ours yet. They will open their world to us very soon. An invitation we cannot refuse.
What is this?
Destroy the gate! The Nephilim is here!
He dares to attack us? Malthael is my brother. I fought 1,000 battles by his side, and I care not that he seeks to destroy you and your kind. But my brother has grown sick, and he must be put down for his own sake. Yet I have not the heart to do this. And so it falls to you. Come, Nephilim, to Pandemonium.
Malthael's attempt to keep me from entering Pandemonium simply confirms that he is still unwilling to face me. Now I must cross this blighted wasteland. Site of 1,000 battles between angel and demon. The Angel of Death awaits me in the Pandemonium Fortress on the other side. He will not be waiting long.
I thought on what you said, and you may have been right. Can't bear the thought of another friend's death.
That's a spectacular plan, Hadrig. Spending your life alone, caring for no one, that will end very well.
It's better than the alternative. Lyndon left a dagger here earlier. I'm guessing you're behind that.
Who else? What can you tell me about it? Any distinguishing marks?
Let me look. It's well crafted for a Kingsport blade, and oh, the hilt seems to be hollow. Someone hid a note inside. Here, you should take it to Lyndon.
Here, read this note. Hadrig found it inside the dagger.
Lyndon, I killed him. Come after me if you must. I'll be waiting. Rhea, my brother's wife.
And the love of your life. Tell me, why would she do this?
I don't want to talk about her. Not until this matter is settled. And I know you and I will see it done.
I've never learned precisely why Rakis chose to found his kingdom here. He must have had an important reason, right? I'm not complaining, but your roguish friend over there seems to think he can win my favor.
Lyndon, ignore him.
Please tell the other gentleman you travel with, the armored one, that he's much more to my tastes. I've heard that you're journeying to a faraway land now. You won't forget to tell me about any discoveries you make there, will you?
Deckard Cain wrote much about the Pandemonium Fortress. He kept meticulous notes, drew sketches, and even made some maps. But nothing matches what is there now. The fortress has changed so much since Malthael took over. The people of Westmarch are starting to rebuild the city and bury their dead. Their strength is an inspiration. But there are children that witnessed their family being torn apart. Others climbed over piles of corpses to get to safety. What will they make of the world when they grow up? The city has scars that will linger for generations. When this is over, Tyrael will need to replace those who fell in the Tomb of Rakis. And he'll continue to train and expand the Order of New Horadrim. With everything I've been through at your side, I think I can contribute to that effort. I know I'm of use here in Westmarch, helping the people recover and keeping order. Each must serve in his own way. But I would love to come help with the fight in Pandemonium, if needed.
I tried to leave the city today, but the gates are all closed. The guards won't let anyone in or out.
What are you going to do?
Stay here and hide, I guess. I am a coward.
Stop that! You're a good man.
Despite all of this, I find myself with hope for the future.
And is that hopeful future centered around our beautiful enchantress?
No! No, of course not. I mean, I do find her company stimulating. Yeah, I do enjoy her unique way of looking at things, but... I mean, no.
She needs to know you are your own man. Tell her you've left your vows behind.
What? Well, you know... I mean, she is quite interesting. So, yeah, I suppose so. Perhaps I should. Maybe. When I was forced to admit my beliefs were wrong, I was lost. I was afraid I would always feel that way. But instead, a sense of calmness has come over me. I'm no longer at war with myself.
Beliefs are like a cage you cannot see. They will keep you from learning, from growing, from being truly free.
You, mentioned that I should speak with Irena. I don't think I can do that.
Well, if you don't, I'm sure Lyndon will.
What? That cad? Oh, she's already seen right through his lecherous ways. Surely he'd have no luck. Would he?
Who can say? Some women like that type of man. But I'm certain she would prefer an honorable man like yourself. You need to talk to her.
Irena? I, was... Never mind. It was of no importance.
Cormac.
Yes. Well, Irena, I just wish to inform you that, I've left the Order. I'm no longer a Templar, nor bound by their rules.
What are you saying?
I would like it if... I mean, when this is over, would you consider, adventuring at my side?
Of course I would. I would be honored to fight alongside you. I feel as close to you as I did to my sisters.
Oh. Yes, of course. Sisters. Indeed.
Imperius will soon need your help, but he will hate you for it.
I don't think it's possible for him to hate me more than he already does.
Ah, you'd be surprised.
Why would Imperius want you to follow him? I don't like this.
There is a siege camp not far from here. Meet me there, and I will show you what must be done.
So, this is where the eternal conflict raged since the beginning of time. When I fight a battle, I mean to win it. Eternal? Sounds rather pointless, doesn't it?
Oh, it wasn't pointless. It led to the creation of humanity. I wonder how Imperius feels about that.
I understand why Malthael was drawn here. It feels like death.
Not all of the hazards of Pandemonium lie above ground. The tunnelers roam just beneath the surface, breaking through to snatch prey in their enormous jaws. And my heroic friends ask why I wish to stay inside the fortress. Ah!
We do not have the luxury of time. Nephilim, over here. We found ancient siege weaponry that we can use to create a diversion and draw Malthael's creatures away from the ramp. But we can't fight and repair it at the same time. Protect us while we do our work. I'm under attack! Help me! Kill that thing! It may drive out the rest of them. The siege weaponry is restored. This will help keep the Angel of Death's minions occupied. You are a noble warrior. We are proud to fight by your side.
Something now inhabits the fortress. I am certain of it. Long have I gazed upon its scarred facade, dreaming of the safe haven its walls offer. But it has changed. The vacant terraces have turned cold. I am so desperate to escape the demons. But whatever is in the fortress may be worse.
You will need to do better if you are to stand any chance. What do I know of the Realm Walker? Very little. It roams the outskirts of Pandemonium, a lumbering giant with a gaping hollow at its core. Somehow, it can hide its body away, disguising itself as a mere portal. Those who pass through it are trapped in a distant world, never to be seen again.
Nephilim! We found something we can use!
Long ago, this weapon was used to bring down a mighty siege beast and its demon master. Even now, the device maintains its power. Sadly, the weapon now attacks us as well as our enemies. We can use it in this fight, though, if we can regain control of it.
Nephilim! To me! I will protect you!
It is unfortunate that Kurikos corrupted the weapon. It is useless to us now. At least it cannot do any more damage.
The great weapon was created in response to a siege on the Pandemonium fortress by Kurikos, a demon lord who rode a monstrous siege beast. At great cost to ourselves, we channeled much energy into the great weapon, and succeeded in bringing down Kurikos and his mount. Upon his death, the demon was drawn inexplicably into the weapon, and it has been attacking us ever since.
That is a siege room. Bring it with you. Do you see the battering ram below? That is the only way you can breach the fortress gates. But it is useless without the siege rooms that power it. You have one in your possession, but there are two more. You will find them on the battlefield below, imprisoned along with the demons that carried them. Once you have the runes, go to the ram. But know this, Nephilim. Even if you release Malthael from his madness, I will not thank you for it.
Of course you won't. That's part of your charm.
My journey to Pandemonium has allowed me to see a new world. One that is almost too fantastic for mortal eyes. The ancient battlefields stretch before me, a desolate space that is occupied by small, scouring beasts. They search the lands endlessly, thriving off the magic that lingers from battles long past. I suspect that the barbed lurker is part demon, for its appearance has an aspect far too sinister to occur naturally. It expels a noxious poison worthy of the hells, and from what I can tell, it will only feed on its own kind or the corpses of demons. One hopes it will never encounter a human.
I have found many references to the beasts of Pandemonium in Kain's old writings. He journeyed there 20 years ago to help a band of heroes seal away the primevals, and his discoveries appear to have shaken him deeply. Sometimes he would stare outside the fortress walls, and winged beasts would appear, calling his name.
We will crush you if it takes another 10,000 years! This eternal battle only strengthens our resolve, foolish angel! A wingless angel. This is what they send to face me now? Die, insect!
What kind of demon are you? No matter. Death to the enemies of heaven!
Pandemonium is a vast, chaotic realm, and many demons remain scattered throughout it. In particular, the war-scarred marauders were unwilling to return to the hells, and they have taken to pillaging the remaining angelic outposts in the battlefields. They may not be the most powerful of their kind, but they are clever and insidious, and no strangers to war. The Ravagers were among the most fearsome soldiers of hell. Having grown accustomed to the taste of war, they remained in Pandemonium long after the last siege of the fortress ended. Now, they regard the realm as their own, and terrorize any angels who venture onto the battlefields. I bear grave news, my friend. The Sliver has revealed Malthael's plan to me, and it is worse than I could have imagined. He means to use the Black Soul Stone to capture all demonic essences, even those that linger in human hearts. If the stone is altered to rip the demonic essence out of every man, woman, and child on Sanctuary, they will all die.
No, we can still stop him. And we begin by attacking the fortress.
I never thought I would return here. Pandemonium was our battlefield for ages on end. Demons' blood saturated this ground, and many angels died defending it.
Why would you shed blood defending this barren land?
Our battles revolved around the World Stone. I had the Pandemonium Fortress built in order to protect it.
You built the Pandemonium Fortress?
Not on my own, but it was my idea, yes. The angels raised it around the World Stone many eons ago.
Is there any other way in besides the front door? You must know of something.
I fear not. The fortress is always changing, caught between the forces of heaven and hell.
Malthael was an archangel. Why did you never search for him when he left the heavens?
Malthael kept to himself much of the time, and he was known to leave without warning. Eventually, the council became concerned. We sent his closest followers to find him. Most of them did not return.
Urzael and the maidens. His madness infected them, and they followed him into the darkness.
It seems so. Destroy those hooks! We can't move until they're gone. One more hit, and it will fall.
The gates have been destroyed!
Pandemonium Fortress. The fortress feels strange and new to me, though I have come here times beyond count as its champion and as its liberator. It changes to match the nature of whoever controls it, but I have never seen it like this while under the control of an angel.
This place has been warped by Malthael's insanity.
When I fought Malthael, my sword passed through him like air. He is in a state of death and life, impervious to physical harm. Your magic is not enough. To defeat him, you must channel the power of death, as he does.
The spirits gathered below could be the key to that, couldn't they?
The power of the dead. If you could become one with it, you would be as Malthael is, and you could face him. But you must find a way, quickly. Every moment, thousands die, and Malthael's power grows beyond anything I have ever seen.
I did not think I would ever see you again.
That voice, could it really be my old master? Or is this some trick? Isendra, is that you? I have missed you, my teacher. I need help to defeat Malthael. In his current state, I cannot harm him.
You have learned much since I last saw you, including humility, it seems.
I often long for the days we spent exploring magic.
I remember those days with fondness as well, but I have nothing left to teach you. Nevertheless, you will always be my friend. And you need not ask for my help. It is yours. Myself and the other captured spirits have much power, but not enough for us to break free. If you release us, we may aid you. There are many powerful spirits here, but still Malthael maintains control. It is as if he constantly draws energy from us, yet there is always more for him to take. It is quite painful. But we fight him, constantly. We will be ready when you need us. Malthael uses our power. However, we can redirect it to you. We will change you to exist as he does. He will no longer be beyond the reach of your magic.
Isendra, you were the only one who ever really believed in me.
That's not true. You always believed in yourself. A little too much, if I recall correctly.
I miss you, friend. You were my real family.
And to think you despised me so when we first met. Life is indeed a strange thing, as is death.
We must make haste. If we don't kill Malthael soon, everyone on our world will be dead in a few hours.
a sound and did not know what it was. I sought wisdom in the chalice, but there was none. The sounds called to me, and I knew them. Human souls. But where? I brought myself to Sanctuary, where humans dwell. But the souls did not call me from that place. I searched the breath of creation, always following the sound. Always the sound. And then I understood. Pandemonium, where the world stone once rested. The souls swirl and writhe. I now know the truth of mortals. All paths lead to death. Whatever their struggles, whatever their triumphs, they die. That is wisdom. The souls of man show their potential for greatness. They can stand for good like any angel in heaven, or they can enact evil worthy of the lowest demon of hell. The power of such a choice should not rest in the hearts of beings who are here for an instant, then flare and die. The humans cannot be trusted. They are born of angel and demon, but demons pervert whatever they touch. The humans are corrupt and are not worthy of the choice between good and evil. Angels and demons do not choose, as it should be. A Nephilim trapped the prime evil in the Black Soul Stone. This is the perfect moment to end the eternal conflict. The demons are easy prey, but the humans must be eliminated before they grow too strong. The Soul Stone is the perfect weapon. The eternal conflict will end. Nephilim. The Black Soul Stone journeys through the portal to Sanctuary. Even now it spreads death across your world. And so ends the eternal conflict.
I now know that the call is coming from the realm of Pandemonium.
It was almost impossible for us to reach Pandemonium. How could your sister Lysa?
The prophet was a seraph. He may have hidden in Pandemonium to keep his affairs secret from the Angiris Council.
And you believe that he could have summoned Lysa to him?
I saw her broken body, but the prophet's magic is powerful. He once saved us all. He could have saved Lysa again. Accompany me to Pandemonium. We will find where Lysa's voice is coming from, and perhaps I will uncover the answers I seek. I followed her voice to this place. I can hear her so clearly. We must find her.
I don't hear anything, but I suppose I should be used to that.
Cannot be. Sybil?
It was to be a dreamless sleep, but the blackness faded, and dreams I had. Dreams that became nightmares I could not wake from.
Sybil, I am here now. Demons!
You were always the strongest, Arena. Make us proud.
No, do not go. What is that?
The prophet said I would not dream, but I did. At first, they were dreams of color, unsettling. And then I began to hear voices. They called for me, over and over. And then I woke.
Reza, it is you!
When we woke, the demons were in our midst. We were not ready. But you slept, Arena. Why?
I would have woken Reza. You must believe me. More demons. Where are they coming from?
You must find Lysa. It is not too late.
Do not go. I have questions. Something holds the spirits of my sisters here. Whatever it is will lead us to Lysa.
The Prophet asked each of us in turn, before he cast the spell of binding, our lives for hers. If we declined, we could leave without any thought of shame. We each heard the question, and answered the only way we could. Our cause was too important to not make that sacrifice.
Does Lysa still live? Can I still save her? What is it that keeps my sister's spirits here? Do my eyes deceive me? Is that you, Melena?
The demons surround Lysa. You must find her, Irena.
Lysa? Where is she? Are these the demons that killed my sisters?
It is good to see you, Irena. I thought I would never gaze upon your face again.
Farewell, my sister.
We trained, believing that we would fight together. But Irena was the one who was chosen. And we were the ones who must sacrifice to support her. Why her and not me? A selfish question, for I know that if she was asked, she would say yes. So I did.
This portal will lead us to Lysa. Find the answers I have searched for. Lysa, I knew I heard your voice.
Why did we have to give our lives for you, Irena? What was so special about you? Chosen of the Prophet. Your sisters were willing to sacrifice their lives for you, just as the Prophet intended. But I would not play along. It merely took time for me to find a way out.
I never knew Lysa. The Prophet never told me.
Irena, know that you possess the greatest potential of all your sisters, and so I chose you. They gave their lives so that you could survive and fight in the most important battle to come. They did this willingly, and their sacrifice is not a burden, but a gift to you.
But what do I do?
Live. Fulfill the destiny for which I trained you, and for which your sisters died.
I always thought that Lysa was as strong as any of us, perhaps even the strongest. But she decided that the sacrifice asked of her was too great. How can I blame her? In her place, I might have made the same choice.
The greatest good sometimes requires the greatest sacrifice.
But is this not proof? If the price is too costly, goodness is not enough. Perhaps there is a better way. The Prophet knew one truth. Evil cannot be destroyed forever. In time, it rises anew and stronger.
I think we can agree he knew what he was talking about.
Yes, and that is why I must carry on his mission. But I will not demand the sacrifice that was asked of my sisters. I and those who follow me will not sleep. We will pass on our task from generation to generation, ever vigilant and ready.
It sounds like the world has a new prophet.
Who can say what the future holds?
This is the wrong hammer, lad. I need the big one.
Right. Sorry.
And you, my friend, not a word out of you. Not a single word.
Oh, Bryson, when Hadrig yells at you, it means you're doing a fine job. It's just his way.
You're going to distract my apprentice when he has all this work on his hands? Not on my watch. Now, lad, where's that hammer?
If you see my children, please tell them to stop playing games and come home. Supper is almost ready.
I'm not sure I will find them. They've hidden so well.
Finally found you, Lieutenant Derek. Will you come quietly, or are you going to run again?
I'll go with you. I'm no coward.
That's not how I see it.
Leave him be. He is a good man, and he saved my life.
He let good men die. He's a deserter and a criminal, and he'll be dead in the morning.
I'm at peace. Perhaps the one good thing I did by saving your life can make up for the bad I've done.
You are a good man. Remember that.
We are fighting a battle that was lost before it had even begun. To follow the Black King into a war against Westmarch was folly of the highest order. Each day only brings us closer to complete and utter defeat, but our commanders refuse to surrender. It is decided. We will flee this doomed war. I had hoped to find solace in this decision, but it brings only more uncertainty. We will never see our homes again, and our names will be dishonored. But what choice do we have? Certain death in the service of a madman? We found what was left of Ralston yesterday. The wretched creatures of the Borg seized us without warning. We are being punished by the gods. I would laugh if I had the energy. We fled the war to save ourselves, but it seems death already knew our names. This cave has killed even more of us than the Borg we thought to escape. We must leave at once. But to where? The only choice left to us is where to die. We are men without a country, shamed and cursed for fleeing an unjust war. We should have stayed and died with our honor intact. Instead, we are slaughtered like pigs by beasts that feed on our remains. Death on the battlefield would have been far better than the fate we have chosen.
Despite everything, I haven't been able to shake my deep-seated belief in the Zakarum faith. But I realized it's Akarat's teachings that still speak to me, not the religion that corrupted them.
Then you should hold on to his teachings and throw away the rest.
The Anarchs were among Malthael's most trusted advisors, and his fall to darkness affected them deeply. Gone were their radiant wings and calm, balanced counsel. Now they possess only malice and cruelty, and the insatiable desire to destroy all living things. Tyrael has told me that the winged assassins were once the sages of wisdom. In return for their vow of eternal silence, they were free to roam Malthael's pools of wisdom in the high heavens. Over the millennia, they learned nearly everything about the past, the present, and even part of what would come. But could they have foreseen their dark fates? That I do not know.
Finally, the champion of the mortals has arrived. Now, let the judgment begin. Perhaps some of our more dangerous prisoners will better test your mettle, Nephilim. Enough! It shall be my hands that crush the life from your cursed flesh.
Before Malthael turned, his sages of wisdom occasionally reached an exceptional level of knowledge that granted them the title of Exarch. These esteemed followers would guard the Chalice of Wisdom when Malthael was away, and they were the last to leave after their master disappeared from the high heavens.
Hail to you, champion.
In this place, Malthael uses his dark crucibles to collect the souls of demon prisoners slaughtered within the fortress.
Once the crucibles are full, a scavenger appears and channels the souls to Malthael.
It is vital that the crucibles and the scavenger be destroyed.
How did you get here?
We came here years ago to aid a hero much like you.
The fortress has changed since then. Its new master did not suffer our presence for long.
Scavenger! Show yourself!
Thanks to you, champion, Malthael can no longer feed on the souls of demons to increase his power.
Pandemonium is a harsh realm, and its inhabitants must be resourceful to survive. But none more so than the scavengers, who armor themselves in the very rocks beneath their feet. They may appear as mighty giants to their foes, but a few hard strikes will reveal that their true form is much smaller.
I feel different. My awareness grows. The very essence of creation stands revealed to me. Is this what it means to be dead?
You are not dead. You now occupy the same state that Malthael does.
That means I can hurt him badly.
You sound again as I remember you. Yes, you are ready, and you have the means to destroy Malthael. But do not forget all that you have learned upon your journey. We need you. The world needs you.
How did you die? I found your body, but could never uncover the truth of your death.
As I tried to save the city of Lut Bahadur, I was killed by a Viz Jokta.
A mage slayer? An assassin? Who could have wanted you dead?
I do not know, nor does it matter. I am dead, and nothing can change that. All I care for now is to be free from Malthael.
What happens when you die? What does it feel like?
At first, I felt as if I was spreading out, as if my being was the whole world. But then, like a bow that is drawn taut and released, I was pulled back violently into this form that mirrors my physical body. I feel trapped. When Malthael is defeated, I will be able to shed this form. Then I will truly know death.
Does that frighten you?
No. I believe I will know true peace and contentment. In fact, I look forward to it.
So after I kill Malthael, what happens then? No more death?
No. He is simply the aspect of death. He is strangely attuned to human souls and feeds off death to gain power. But there was death before Malthael changed, and there will be death after he is gone.
Oh well. I suppose I will have to gain immortality through other means then. Having tales of my heroics passed down from generation to generation, that sort of thing. Not as satisfying, but it will suffice.
What happens after Malthael is dead?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps there's someone you'd like to spend some time with?
Irena thinks of me as a fellow adventurer. Nothing more.
You should speak with Miriam. I'm certain she'll have advice for you on how to change that.
The Soul Stone is a born sanctuary. The blood of demons will soon be gone from all creation. You will be the last of your kind for a few moments. Death comes, Nephilim. The eternal conflict ends. The end is inevitable. You are imbued with the power of death. But that is not the only weapon I possess. In the end, all bow to death. You are out of time, Nephilim.
Where is the Black Soul Stone?
Malthael destroyed it, and used the power within.
Then Malthael's death will have released Diablo. He is free. The Nephilim have done the impossible. By conquering death, she had redeemed the angels and saved all mankind. In that moment, with victory at hand, I saw the Nephilim in a new light. She is a hero who can defeat the champions of heaven and hell, and a wizard who protects the innocent. But within her beats a mortal heart that will one day be tempted to corruption. On that day, will she have the strength to resist, or will she be